I hate crime. She came into my office with the swirl of her long brown skirt. She wore a big picture hat, a white blouse, and she was the most graceful thing I'd ever seen. When she accepted my offer to take a chair, she didn't just slump down as most women and men do. She melted into the chair.
Thank you.
Something I can do for you?
I hope so, Mr. Kent.
What seems to be your trouble?
First, I will introduce myself. My name is Dion.
Dion... what?
That is my only name.
For my personal records, I'll need your full name.
But I do not use another name. Everyone knows me as Dion.
Look, put it this way. When you sign a legal document...
I merely write Dion. It is my legal name. It is even on my passport. You see, I am a ballerina.
Oh, I should have guessed by the way you danced in. You're with that ballet company in town?
Yes.
Okay, so it's Dion. Now, where do we go from here?
Well, I have heard much of your record. That you're an American who has settled in Australia. That you have a reputation for hating crime.
I take a graceful bow.
Further, I've heard that you keep all cases confidential.
Unless I can't help it.
I want you to keep my case confidential. Mr. Kent?
If it's in my power, if it doesn't get me into trouble with the government or the cops, you can depend on it.
Good.
Okay. Let's have it, huh?
I am frightened, Mr. Kent.
Why?
There's a man.
Just a man?
He keeps bothering me. He sends me flowers, messages.
Maybe it's because he appreciates your art.
Here's one of the messages he sent. A card that came with a dozen orchids.
Let's see. You are everything to me. I must talk to you. Always your admirer. Well, this doesn't look like anything to be scared of.
No. And at first I was not frightened. Then there were phone calls from him. The sound of his voice, I had to hang up.
Did you ever see him?
Once he came to the theater, my dressing room. Once to my apartment.
What did he say?
It was not what he said. It was the fever in his eyes.
Fever?
Do not misunderstand me, Mr. Kent. I am not easily frightened. But there is something wrong with this man. Something inside him.
His name?
Joseph Warner.
Warner? A big guy?
Yes. You know him?
I knew him all right. Once a torpedo, a bash artist, he was now a big shot. Yet he was on the right side of the law. No rackets for Joe Warner. He had fish shops, concessions at nightclubs, milk bars, a few hotels. It was how he got them that made interesting reading. Along the road to being what he was were left a few cracked skulls, a couple of guys who jumped into the harbor with cement overshoes, a few suicides. In short, Joe Warner was the kind of a guy who got what he wanted, no matter how.
Will you help me, Mr. Kent?
What do you expect me to do?
Keep that man from me. If you don't, I will go insane.
Oh, now, take it easy.
I am serious. And I will pay you well for protection.
Warner's a tough boy.
You are frightened of him, too?
When do you want me to start, Dion?
Now.
So, I started. Not just because she thought I was scared of Warner, and I was, but more because there was something about her. Something that made you want to be near. I'm a sucker for big brown eyes and a right look. That was on a Saturday when I usually spend only half a day at the office. She had a matinee that afternoon. I sat in her dressing room, not being very fond of ballet. When she was finished, I stood outside while she dressed. Then we went for a drive. She didn't say much. Just sat there. I parked at a place called the Lookout.
He was in the audience.
Why didn't you tell me?
I was in too much of a hurry to get away. Besides, you could not have done anything.
This guy's really under your skin, isn't he?
I have never been so terrified in all my life. You must not let him come near me.
That means I'll have to spend a lot of time near you.
I do not mind that.
Neither do I. But maybe it wouldn't be too hot an idea to stay in your apartment.
If it's the only way.
I've got a better way. It'll help my blood pressure, too. There's a guy I know who runs a hotel only about 10 miles out of town. I can fix it for you to have a room there.
Good.
You'll tell nobody you're there.
I'll have to tell my producer.
Well, nobody else.
All right. Will you take me there after the evening performance?
A pleasure.
But before that, tomorrow is Sunday, my day of rest. So, you will take me somewhere tonight, hmm? You can put it on the expense account.
Huh. Imagine that. Getting paid to take Dion dancing.
You dance very well, Mr. Kent.
Only because you're doing the leading.
You do not require much leading.
Oh, how do you mean that?
And that is a question that requires no answer.
Hey, you've got the wrong opinion of me. I'm just a country boy with shoes on.
Your reputation says not.
How's that?
Well, I have heard that you hate crime and that you love women.
Wouldn't it be a crime if I didn't appreciate beauty?
You are most amusing. I am beginning to enjoy myself very...
What is it?
There, in the corner. Him.
Warner.
He followed us here. Take me away, please.
Now don't lose your head. The dance is just about over. When the number finished, I took Dion back to our table, paid the check, escorted her from the floor. As we waited for our coach at the entrance, I stole a look at Warner. His hot eyes were riveted on Dion. I put a short jacket over his shoulders, took her arm, and helped her out of there. She was shivering.
The way he looked at me.
Don't worry, that's as far as he'll go.
You must not let him come near me.
We went to the car, drove away. All the way out to her apartment, I couldn't stop thinking of the look in Warner's eyes. It was something you couldn't explain, something hungry and tense. I didn't blame her for being scared. It wasn't the first time I'd seen that sort of look. I'd seen it in the faces of starving Filipinos during the war as they looked into our mess kits. At her apartment, Dion packed. Then I took her out to the suburban hotel.
Thank you, Larry.
You go to sleep, kid. Tomorrow's Sunday. I'll pick you up in the morning and we'll spend the whole day together.
Good.
The next day, we went for another drive into the country. And we made plans.
During the day, I will phone your office to let you know that I am all right.
Check. Then before each performance, I'll drive you into the city. When you're finished, I'll take you back to the hotel, making sure that nobody is following.
Very well.
Now, forget all about that. It's a nice day. The sun is shining. Come on. Try to work up a smile, huh?
That is not too difficult. When you're near me.
Our faces were close together. Then she was smiling. Small, perfect white teeth. Soft, full lips. Eyes half closed. A perfume that was half from a bottle and half her own. I felt myself going down, down. But it was a nice sensation falling.
Larry.
Oh.
Did you mean that?
As much as I can mean anything.
I would hate to think that I was only one of the others.
Sometimes you can see yourself in a woman's eyes. That's how it was that moment with Diane. And the picture I saw of myself was different. This was new. I should have pulled myself away, run away from myself, but I grabbed her in my arms.
My darling.
Yep, I fell completely. Diane wasn't the kind of a dame you could just play with. Once you had her in your arms, you wanted to make it permanent. When I got her back to the hotel, it was well after midnight.
Don't wait till before the performance to see me. Can't you come before then?
Lunch?
All right. I'll phone your office at 10. Good night, my darling.
I went home in a daze. Got my address book, threw it in the waste paper basket. Slept like a baby. I was at the office at 8:45. At 10 after, I had a visitor.
Larry Kent?
That's right.
I got a message for you.
What is it?
This. That was from Joe Warner. Wants you to keep away from a certain party. Far away. If you don't, there might be more coming to you. Understand?
Sure.
Now go back and tell Joe I delivered the message.
Wait.
Yeah?
Here's a receipt. As he staggered back, he reached into his coat pocket. I kicked. He went down with a broken wrist. I picked him up. Knocked him down again. Then I opened the door, hauled him to his feet, threw him out. I went to my desk, got my knuckle dusters, put them in my pocket. Then I checked my .38. I got ready for trouble. Warner's messenger boy didn't come back for more. So, I just sat in the office, just thinking about Diane. At 10, she phoned. We arranged to go to lunch at 1. At 10:15, I received my second visitor.
My name is Philip Black.
Hi. What can I do for you?
Well, Mr. Kent, I'm the producer-director of the Rebelsky Ballet Company.
Oh.
I want to talk to you concerning Diane.
Okay, Mr. Black, start talking.
In the first place, I've seen you at the theater with Diane, and I know that you're responsible for her going to that hotel.
Uh-huh.
Secondly, I know that Diane has not been herself lately.
You know why?
I think so. Her admirer, Joseph Warner.
So?
Diane is a very dear friend of mine. In addition, she's a very valuable performer.
And?
I'm worried about her. I thought you might be able to tell me how I can be of help.
Well, right now, there's no way you can be.
I see. But if there is something I can do...
I'll let you know.
Oh, good. Here is my Sydney address. I've written it on this card.
Maxwell Apartments, North Bondi, apartment number 5. Okay, I'll keep this.
Thank you, Mr. Kent.
He left the office. A tall, thin feller in a stylishly cut black suit, a gray Homburg. I lit a cigarette. Finished it. I turned. And there was my third visitor.
Good morning.
Well, come in, Mr. Warner. Sorry I had to rough up your messenger boy.
It's the first time anything like that ever happened to Louis.
So now you've come to warn me personally.
Not exactly. I came to have a talk.
What do you want to talk about?
Diane?
She seems to be on your mind a lot lately.
Every minute. Ever since I saw her a week ago.
One thing you've got to get straight now, Warner. She's not just a dame.
I want her, Kent.
She's not for sale.
I'll buy her if it takes every penny I've got.
There are some things in this world that you can't buy, Warner.
No. I'll tell you something. The Ravilsky Ballet Company's in bad shape. People aren't going to see performances. A couple of weeks, they'll have to fold it up. But it won't fold up. Because I'm buying it.
You're putting up the money?
Yeah. Then I'll send the company on tour. And I'll travel with them.
Maybe Diane won't be going.
She has a contract that carries over. Just thought I'd let you know, Kent. Maybe now you'll leave her alone.
She came to me, Warner, looking for protection from you.
Then send her away. For your own good.
You don't scare me.
Here's my check for $500. Just to make it worth your while. I'll leave it on your desk. Think it over.
Here's your answer. And there are the pieces of your check.
So I see.
And there's the door.
All right. But just one thing.
Yeah?
When you throw your marbles in the ring with me, we play for keeps. I can.
I wiped the sweat off my forehead. It was 12 o'clock. I left the office, drove out to the suburban hotel, kissed a dream, took her to lunch.
You look very worried, Larry.
Warner's buying your show.
What?
Yeah, he came to the office and told me.
So, he is the one.
Then it is just about ready to fold up, huh?
Yes, I was going to tell you. You see, if it did close, I thought I could stay here near you. Apply for Australian citizenship.
But if Warner buys the show, there's still your contract.
4 more months.
He intends traveling with you.
I could not stand that, Larry.
You don't have to.
But bridge of contract.
We'll figure something out. Come on. Drink your tomato juice.
I love you, Larry.
I drove her back to the hotel after lunch, forced myself away, went to the office. There was nothing doing. At 5, I phoned the hotel. The switchboard put me through to her room telephone. No answer. I asked for the desk clerk.
Miss Dion, sir.
Yeah, this is important.
Miss Dion left the hotel only 5 minutes ago, sir.
Are you sure?
Oh, yes, and she seemed in a great hurry.
Thanks. Maybe she took a cab. Maybe she was coming to the office. I waited. 5:30. 6. I rang a hotel. Not there. 6:30. I went home. She had my address. There was just a chance. But she wasn't there. I rang a hotel again. She hadn't gone back. I got jittery. 7. A quarter after. I drove to the theater, went backstage, headed straight for a dressing room.
Mr. Kent!
Black, where's Dion?
You don't know?
Would I be asking you if I did?
Where can she be? Performance begins in 15 minutes.
What are you doing in her dressing room?
Why, waiting for her, of course.
I joined him. Sat there as 7:45 came. The curtain rose, they went on without Dion. Black walked up and down the room like a madman. 8. 8:30.
I'll get it.
Inspector Daniels.
There, men. Are you Philip Black?
Yes.
What are you doing here, Inspector?
I want to ask Black some questions. And when I'm finished with him, I want to talk to you.
What about?
About why your card should be found in the handbag of a corpse.
She was dead. Dead. She was dead. Strangled. Thrown from a speeding car 20 miles outside the city. I sat there in a dressing room while the inspector wandered around outside. All I could think of was that she was dead. Dead. And I went to the phone book, got Warner's address, drove there, stood at the door, pressed the buzzer. The torpedo was in the doorway, broken nose, dressed like a butler.
Yes, sir.
Joe Warner.
Who's calling?
Never mind. I stepped over him, went looking around. I found Joe Warner in a room. He was sitting there looking up at a picture. A painting of Dion. He turned.
Kent,
Nice picture.
I had it painted from a photograph.
He saw the gun in my hand.
What do you want?
I'm gonna gun whip you, Warner. Then you're gonna talk. Tell her you killed her.
Killed?
Dion.
What?
You knew you couldn't have her, knew she wasn't for you, so you strangled her.
Dion? No. No, it can't.
Putting on an act wasn't gonna save him. I got ready to go to work on him.
Can't be. She can't be dead.
His eyes blazed. I moved towards him. When I heard the sound behind me, it was too late. I came to on the carpet. I'd been slugged in the back of the head. I got to my knees, fought to my feet, headed for the front door like a drunken sailor. The torpedo was near the door. I clawed for my gun.
It's all right. Mr. Warner said you could leave.
He held the door open. The night air smacked me in the face. I went to my car, sat behind the wheel, waited for the fog to lift. And I looked at my watch. 10 after 11. Show had just ended. There was another address I remembered. I drove there breaking traffic laws all the way. Apartment 5. I tried the door. Open.
That's the way it happened, isn't it?
No! 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 No!
I heard the voices from the next room. I stood in the doorway.
You killed Black.
No! No! No!
You knew I was buying the company. You would have been finished.
No! No! No!
You were in love. You were in love with her. Couldn't stand the thought of being away from.
No! No! Choking me.
Let him go, Warner.
Kent,
Step away or I'll shoot you down.
but he was the one who killed her.
I know that. He was the only one besides me who knew she was staying at that hotel.
Let me finish him.
No! No! No!
We'll let the cops take care of it. If he signs a confession.
I'll sign anything. Get away from me!
Step aside, Warner. Got a piece of paper and a pen, Black?
Yes. Yes. In the drawer.
Get it. He went to an oak cabinet, pulled open a drawer, stuck in his hand, pulled it out.
Watch it, Kent.
I'd been watching, and I'd been waiting, hoping he'd pull a gun. He twisted slowly, then life left him, and he went down like a rag doll. We stood there, looking down at him. Slowly, all the hate drained out of me. I felt limp.
You'll be needing me as a witness, Kent.
Yeah.
I'll phone the cops.
Yeah. When the cops let me go, hours later, I walked through the empty streets. It was dawn. For some people, it was a beginning, a brand new day. For others, it was the end of something. Good night.